There's always that moment when we push aside something that truly matters. Maybe it was replying to an email that could change your career. Maybe it was filing that application you promised yourself you'd complete. Or maybe it was something as personal as scheduling a doctor's appointment, starting a new habit, or finally sitting down to write the very first page of your book. You had every intention of doing it. You weren't being careless. You weren't being lazy. In fact, you probably thought about it constantly, over and over again. And yet, when the moment came, you stalled. Hours passed. The day slipped away, and the task remained untouched. Instead, you filled the time with safer, smaller things, checking messages, tidying your desk, reorganizing files, scrolling endlessly. You did everything except the one thing you said you would do. And later you told yourself, I'm lazy, I'm undisciplined, I'm not consistent enough. But here's the truth. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's not a flaw in your character. It's a signal. Your brain isn't sabotaging you. It's protecting you. Procrastination happens when your subconscious files a task under the label danger. It's a protective reflex, like flinching before you touch something hot. That's why you'll avoid even simple, important actions. Not because they're hard, but because something about them feels unsafe. Maybe the task feels uncertain. Maybe you fear judgment if it isn't perfect. Maybe it just feels bigger than you're ready for. Whatever the reason, your brain whispers, later, not now. Do something easier first. That's procrastination, not laziness, not weakness, a protection mechanism. And the moment you understand that, the shame starts to dissolve. Procrastination works like a car's brakes. The car isn't broken. You still want to move forward. But when the system senses uncertainty, it pulls you back. Imagine you're approaching a sharp curve. You don't floor the accelerator. You slow down, maybe even stop until the road feels safer. That's what your brain is doing. It sees the project, the email, the call, and says, hold on. This might be risky. Let's stay still until we're sure. The problem isn't the brakes. Brakes are useful. The problem is when they're too sensitive, locking you in place when the road ahead is actually safe. That's procrastination, overactive protection, not laziness. And because it's protective, the solution isn't to yell at yourself for stopping, it's to design conditions where forward motion feels safe again. So, how do you do that? Let's look at 3 tools you can start using right now. 1. The 2-minute activation. When something feels too heavy to start, shrink it. Make the very first step so small it only takes a couple of minutes. Want to start writing your book? Just open the document, maybe even type a title page. Thinking about running? Lace up and jog to the end of the block. Need to move a business plan forward? Jot down the very first point. Nothing more. That's it. 2 minutes. It sounds laughably small, but here's the magic. Once you're in motion, resistance drops. The voice of doubt, the weight of avoidance, they can't survive the act of beginning. As Steven Pressfield describes in The War of Art, resistance is strongest right before you start, but the moment you take action, even for 2 minutes, it flees. You'll often do more than you planned, but even if you don't, you've still won because you didn't just check a box, you beat resistance. 2. Run a friction audit. Friction is anything that makes action harder than it should be, and often we don't notice it until we stop and look. Want to eat healthier? If your cupboards are stacked with processed snacks, you're fighting friction every night. Want to exercise? If your workout clothes are buried at the back of a drawer, that's friction. Want to focus on work? If your phone is buzzing on the desk, you've already lost half the battle. The fix isn't more discipline, it's removing the friction. So you put the book you want to read on your pillow, lay out your workout clothes the night before, charge your phone in another room while you work. You don't rise to the level of your willpower, you fall to the level of your systems. 3. Build commitment architecture. Instead of leaving action as a vague, "I'll do it later," give it some structure. That might mean making it public. Maybe you promise a friend you'll send the draft by 5 o'clock. It could mean locking in the time, setting aside the first 20 minutes after lunch for focused work. Or it might be about the place, deciding this coffee shop, this desk, this corner is for one thing only. And always shrink the start. The first action is tiny. Open the app, write the title, press record. This kind of structure removes ambiguity, and ambiguity is where procrastination thrives. Psychologist Piers Steele, who wrote a book called The Procrastination Equation, studied why people delay tasks they care about. He found that procrastination isn't about laziness. It's about how our brains weigh immediate discomfort against future rewards. The future always feels distant. The present always feels urgent. Steele showed that when people reduce the immediate friction of a task, making the start smaller, clearer, and safer, procrastination drops dramatically. One case study described a group of students struggling to write essays. Instead of setting huge goals like write 5 pages, they were told, just open the document and write 1 sentence. That single action broke the resistance cycle. Many ended up writing far more than they planned, but even when they didn't, the identity shift began. I am someone who starts. This is the heart of beating procrastination, shifting from avoidance to small, safe action. The biggest mistake people make is trying to brute force procrastination with shame. They tell themselves they're lazy. They make massive, overwhelming plans. They try to push through fear with raw willpower. And for a day or two, it works. But then the resistance doubles down. The brain remembers. Last time this felt painful. And it delays again. Shame reinforces the cycle. Pressure fuels avoidance. The antidote isn't harsher self-talk. It's designing smaller, safer steps. So let's bring it together. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's resistance. Your brain's way of protecting you from discomfort or uncertainty. The way forward isn't brute force. It's design. Shrink the resistance with a 2-minute activation. Audit your environment with a friction audit. Give your action structure through commitment architecture. And remember, every time you take a tiny action, you restore trust in yourself. Each small promise kept is proof. I'm a person who follows through. Over time, that micro-evidence builds a new identity. Procrastination fades not because you force yourself harder, but because forward motion feels safe, natural, and even inevitable. Thanks for watching. If this helped, subscribe for more. And if you'd like the tools and systems we create, both free and advanced, visit ThriveFoundryLabs.com/tools. Everything is organized in one place. Procrastination isn't a flaw you have to fight. It's a break you can learn to release. And when you do, motion becomes your natural state.